No, I wanted to quickly move on. I have one more spot that I wanted to touch on for UFC 264. But before I do that, we talked about it. We're only 3 weeks away from this one. And I kind of was lukewarm on it last week. And now I'm just like, I've rewatched everything and I've repolished everything. And there's no way that Dustin Poirier doesn't beat Conor McGregor. I think it's
Whoa, there
I
we
think it's
go.
yeah, I think it's a good spot. I still think this is another one where I just have to talk it out. Where you look at Poirier in his last 21 UFC fights since 2012. He's won 10 of them inside the distance. He's 15-5-1 in those 21 fights. You talk about Conor McGregor. Since 2013, he's fought 12 times. He's what is he, 9-3 in those 12 fights. And it just comes down to the numbers. The most money that you've made on props backing Conor McGregor in his UFC career is to win by decision, which he's only done twice. You've made more money betting against McGregor to win, betting against McGregor's on his opponent to win inside the distance than you have on betting Conor to win inside the distance. McGregor's lost 3 times inside the distance. And he's won 7 of his 12 fights inside the distance, but a lot of those fights were in fights where he was, substantially favored.
Mhm.
It just comes down to the numbers. It comes down to, we're talking about experience here. We're talking about Dustin Poirier's fought in twice as many UFC fights, more than twice as many UFC fights than Conor McGregor has in 8 years. Dustin has fought in 21 fights. Conor has fought in 12. And it's not like, I know Dustin has been in a lot of wars, but this is the type of guy he's been really good to his body and his training. And you can't deny he's now that Khabib is gone, the fight to make it has to be Poirier and Oliveira. And I think this could be the swan song, besides maybe Nate. This could be the swan song for Conor, because I would not be shocked if Dustin puts Conor away in 5 minutes or less, because it's just, all it takes is Poirier. He's just so skilled. All it's going to take is Poirier to feel Conor's power, get his timing, get Conor breathing a little bit, and just set up those counter strikes. And I think he's going to do very similar to what he did to him in the first fight. He's going to chop at him. I think it'll be a cookie cutter type thing, and I can't see how much better Conor's going to get from this apex that we've seen him kind of plateauing at. And you go back and watch that the fight in January. Conor had his moments, but if he's going to come out there heavy on that front foot again, very not mobile at all, it's going to be a piece of cake, I think, honestly, for Dustin Poirier. So Dustin, what's interesting to me is there's McGregor is at like plus 135 to win inside the distance, and Dustin is at like plus 150 to win inside the distance. So even though Poirier is favored to win the fight, he's actually at bigger plus money to win inside the distance than McGregor is, which I think is just ridiculous. But you don't even need to bet inside the distance. I think even at the current price of like minus 115 on Poirier, I think it's a good spot. What do you think?
Yeah, man. I mean, my opinion hasn't really changed much since we did the look ahead last week on it. Like I said, the more I've thought about the fight, the more I do feel like why Conor McGregor lost. He lost, right? We're putting it all in the leg kick, the calf kick, right? Conor wasn't prepared for the calf kick. But the fact that he ate the calf kick is essentially a byproduct of the fact that Conor McGregor does not possess the movement that he used to when he was the king of MMA, when he ruled this game. right? When he was the 2-division champion. Why was Conor McGregor so special back then? It was the in and out movement, how light he stayed on his feet, his reactability, his reaction timing, his speed, okay? Speed combined with timing. Even Conor has the famous quote, right? Talking about, precision beats power and timing beats speed, right? And it was the truth. His timing was impeccable. His countering was unreal. That's just not who he is anymore. That's just not who he is anymore. He's a more run-of-the-mill style guy. He's a little more flat-footed. He's a little more stationary. And that right there is the magic of Conor McGregor gone. The things that made him special are no longer as apparent. He's not using those as the thing that sets him apart from the competition, the thing that makes Conor McGregor impossible to prepare for because he's on another level of anyone out there. You couldn't find a sparring partner, someone to train with that could really emulate what you were going to see fighting a Conor McGregor. Today, that's not the case. Today, you can watch tape. You can see this guy doesn't move the way he used to, and it makes it so much easier to train for, anticipate, and land good crushing shots like a calf kick. When a guy's light on his feet moving back and forth, I'm throwing a calf kick. He's now jumped backwards. I'm not landing. A more stationary Conor, I'm timing out. I'm catching him heavy on the front leg and just ripping into those fine muscles of the calf and making a guy. I mean, that's the secret, right? Like I said, it's the movement of Conor that makes him special. Disable the leg with the calf kick, the movement disappears. Anybody can beat a stationary McGregor, and I think Poirier is going to do that. I think that we're not necessarily going to see the calf kick be as important. I do think Conor's going to do better managing it, but I still think this fight plays out fairly similar. I do think it goes probably longer than it did the first time, but I think Dustin Poirier wins this fight. I do, and I think when it comes down to it, where this fight's lined out with the current value, the fact that you're probably, as the hype machine begins to kick in, we just saw the billboard put up in Vegas, right? And it's not Dustin Poirier. It's time to get back to Dustin Poirier. Okay, it's time to get back to Conor McGregor. Okay, and sure enough, the casual fan base will come in. I think it's going to be as simple as this: sharp money will back Poirier, casual money will back McGregor, and it's a battle of who's going to be coughing up the most money. The sharps are going to be dropping hundreds and thousands on Poirier, while every casual is lined up to drop 20, 40, 50 bucks on McGregor. And hopefully the casuals line up a lot deeper than the sharps, and we can get some cash flow here on McGregor and hopefully get us some plus money on Poirier. And I'll put it like this: plus money Poirier against Conor McGregor, you don't need to think. You just need to place the bet.
Yeah, exactly. And it's as simple as that. And I'm glad you brought up the billboard, because the billboard convinced me so much more that the tweet that Conor put out, where it was like first one to shoot is a dirty. I don't know what it was exactly, but I remember reading him and Poirier going back and forth on Twitter, and Conor saying to him like, "Oh, you shot on me like 90 seconds into the fight, blah blah blah." And like, if Conor is openly talking about him not wanting to wrestle, it's just like you don't have confidence. You're openly saying that you don't have confidence in that level of your game. So that means that you're not working that level of your game. That means that all it's going to take is to, get you against the cage and to wear you down with a little bit of grappling or some work on the ground, very similar to what he did in the fight in January. So it's just all of the little signs are pointing just as heavy to Poirier than they were in the last fight. But